blessings, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Asiya. I am your host, Asiya Nasir, and the mission of our show is to empower the women of our communities and the girls that they are raising. Today, we have a beautiful episode today on the topic of something that we're seeing happening with our teen girls, and we are being proactive in our approach to talking about this topic and helping the parents to be able to navigate this journey with our girls. And what we're seeing is the lack of etiquette. We're no longer seeing that as something that our young girls are taking pride and showing their radiance in having, those type of skill sets and bringing it into how they interact with people, whether it be at school or with adults. And what we want to talk about today is how we can turn that around and how we can have that discussion with our young girls to be able to help them to see the importance of remembering to have etiquette in every interaction that they have with people, that they come in contact with each and every day. So we have a very special guest that I am so excited to have on the show. This is something that we've been talking about for a few months, and this was just the best opportunity for it to come, considering what we have coming up on September 30th, which we're going to be talking about more. But without further ado, I would like to welcome our special guest, Mrs. Jennifer Tyler Washington. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning, Asiya. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here to speak with you and our audience about etiquette, as well as how we're going to help empower our young ladies and young girls. So thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. I'm excited.
Thank you. I'm so excited to have you as well. So let's get right into this conversation. And for those that are watching, whether you're on Facebook or whether you're on our YouTube channel, if you have a question that you would like to ask Mrs. Jennifer or myself, please feel free to put it in the chat because I'll be able to see it. So let's get into this topic. So first, I would love, the fact that I've been saying that, this is something that we've been working on for a while now. I would love for the audience to know how we met, the viewers to know how we met. So if you would like to tell everyone, how we came into contact and knowing one another, go ahead and tell the viewers.
Thank you. So actually, we met through Toastmasters. You and your young ladies have a youth leadership program, and several of your young ladies came through Toastmasters, and myself as well as other members were able to coach and help your young ladies to become better public speakers. So that actually helped us to get to know them better, to bring them out of their shells, because we know from that first meeting to that last meeting, it was a big difference. Even the graduation, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So that's how we met, through Toastmasters. And it was such an honor and a privilege and a blessing to be able to help the young ladies to find their voice and know that they could speak publicly or wherever they're speaking and be confident. So that's how we met, Asiya.
Yes, it is. That is exactly how we met. We went through, J.E.S.S.I.C.A Cares, my nonprofit organization, working with our girls. And I love the fact that you brought up the transition that we saw happening with our girls from the first few sessions that we had, which were virtual. Right. And then, from the last day, the last session, and even up until graduation. What were some of the things that we saw? And that's why I said this is not just our girls. This is just something that we're seeing is trending with teen girls. What were some of the etiquette things that we didn't see in the very beginning that we started to see transitioning towards the end?
Well, when I facilitate my workshops, especially virtual workshops, I want to see faces. I don't want to see your name or your picture on our Zoom or whatever platform we're using. I want to see your face. It's bad enough we are in this virtual world. It has its pros and its cons, but sometimes you want to have that interaction with people. And in order for us to really see what the girls are doing, what they're thinking, are they interested?
Are they engaged?
Exactly. I need to see your face So that's one thing. And then helping them to speak up and greet each other. How about that?
Now
And
that part.
and then even as we close, how about goodbye or see you later? Because I know some people don't like to say goodbye. That may be a little sore point for them, and that's
Hmm.
fine. But just a closing.
Or
So I
even thank you.
even thank you. Thank
Even
you
thank
goes a long
you.
way.
It
Thank you.
definitely does. And you were mentoring, as you mentioned, it was you as well as, some of your colleagues in the Toastmasters program were coaching and mentoring them, and enabling them to become better speakers. And it was, not, we didn't even see the thank yous at the end. Now it was it's amazing that you mentioned having your face on the camera virtually, which was something that we actually had, I wouldn't say rules, but we had conditions to participating in the
Hmm.
program. And one of them was, when you come on, make sure your camera's on. And for the first 2, 3 sessions, we were like, put your cameras on, put your cameras on. And then to see the transition with you and the coaches being able to be the way shower, you know, and showing them what that looks like and having your cameras on and being ready and on time and, using your voice and things like that. What was the transition that you saw towards the end of, the girls participating in Toastmasters?
Well, at the end, it seemed like they were more excited about being a part of Toastmasters. I think that they saw how they progressed throughout the sessions that we had with them, whether it was them doing their speeches or their peers doing their speeches. And I think once they saw how well their peers were doing, that may have encouraged them to want to do better. So they were showing up on time. They were having their cameras on without us even having to say anything, asking questions, because we know questions are important. We need to ask questions and just being more engaged. The
Yeah.
graduation really told a lot from how the girls even were coming together, talking to each other, but also talking to everyone, how they uh, communicated how much they got out of the program as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We opened it up for everyone to share, their experience, and the girls were,
Yeah.
proactive about, I want to share my experience, and was articulating, and they even used, they even said thank you. They wanted to thank, they turned to all of their coaches and all of, and they were like, thank you for helping us. We really appreciated this. And so again, showing that etiquette. So, when we were at the graduation ceremony, that was when you presented, what you do outside of, Toastmasters, which I saw it had, one of your passions was etiquette. And I saw that that was something that you did. Can you tell the viewers, because I'm going to get into exactly how this, comes into play with what we're talking about. If you could just, share with some of the viewers or maybe some of our young girls, when we're identifying what is etiquette, how would you define etiquette?
Well, etiquette is how we treat others, really, how we show up. That's what etiquette is. Etiquette is far beyond manners. Some people think etiquette is just dining. Etiquette touches
Right.
every part of our lives, whether it is dining, whether it is at school, whether it is in your workplace, whether it's in your family. It's how we treat others, it's building relationships. And some people don't realize how etiquette is so important in our lives. And it's it's going to help you in the long run,
Absolutely.
knowing what to do and how to do it.
Yeah.
So
And it,
that's my own definition of etiquette. Of course, Webster has their definition. Emily
mhm,
Post has their definition, which I actually went to classes with Emily
mhm,
Post. So my first class in etiquette was a 1 credit class when I was in college. And I said, okay, this should be interesting. It
mhm.
was a class on etiquette and the history of tea. So, okay, let me go get this easy 1 credit,
Right.
right? So I took the class and I was blown away about how much I did not know about etiquette.
Yeah.
And I started to observe not just what I did not know, but
Right.
what others didn't know as well. Because
Exactly.
now, mind you, that was just dining etiquette. Because you know, when you
Mm,
go to these fancy restaurants or banquet or whatever the case is, and you have all this flatware and china and stemware in front of you, you don't know what to do sometimes, right? So
it's absolutely
you're looking to see, okay, what's my neighbor? Which fork is my neighbor going to pick up,
right.
right? Or is this my glass or is this their glass?
Do I put my elbows on the table? Right. All of those
Right.
different things that,
All
your
those
grandmother
things.
was like, get your elbows off that table. Right.
And they were teaching us etiquette.
Exactly.
We didn't even
Exactly.
know, right? So
Hmm.
I learned that, had a catering business, so I knew the what to do from a standpoint of being a guest as well as serving the guest.
Hmm.
So that's when I went back and to Emily Post for business etiquette as well, because
Oh,
there's
wow.
etiquette in business also.
Hmm.
So I went back to school through Emily Post, learned about business etiquette, and I said I had to reinvent myself because I'm a serial entrepreneur. And I said,
Right.
this is something that's missing, not just
Hmm.
in our community, but in general.
Right.
People don't know how to express, rather, it is common courtesy or
Yes. Now I want to talk more about that
because
for
common
sure.
courtesy, just like common sense, is not common anymore.
Anymore. And that's what I want to get into because you mentioned, when you were talking about how we interact with other people and, we don't realize how it connects, it interconnects with almost every aspect, if not every aspect of our life. And it brought me, as soon as you said it, I thought Maya Angelou.
Hmm.
When Maya Angelou said, it's not, people may not even remember exactly what you said, but people will remember how you made them feel.
That's
And
right.
I thought etiquette, when you said it interacts with every aspect, I was like, wow, that, that's part of how you interact with others and how they feel after their interaction with you. So
Right.
when we were talking and what I'm seeing with the girls in share, we're getting a lot of comments in here. So I just, there, as you were explaining etiquette, people are saying they never thought of etiquette this way. Avril was saying that she would love to hear more about the etiquette of tea, so we can get into that. And so I want to get into what you were saying is the common courtesy and what we're seeing in our young girls. I work with young girls. I've been working with young girls for the past 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I have seen certain things that I never saw before, never thought that I would see, especially in young ladies. What are some of the things that you're seeing when we're talking about common courtesy that we're no longer seeing in our young girls and how that's going to play into their future?
Right. Right. Well, first and foremost, I believe the problem is social media. I
Mhm.
believe these phones, which we are attached to our hips, and look, it's right here. I have mine too. But what we're seeing is this: everybody's head is down.
When someone is speaking to them.
Right. Their
Yes.
heads are down. So we're not getting eye contact. So what about I see you? When you're looking at someone in their eyes and you're giving them eye contact, that shows that you're interested in what they have to say.
Yes. Yes.
That
And
shows
it's so
that
important.
that actually shows confidence, because when you're looking all around and you're not looking at the person who you're having a conversation with, it's disrespectful, really.
It is. It is. And I remember that was something that was always taught to us. You look people in the eye, and it's a way in how you connect. I
That's
know
right.
myself as a motivational speaker, I have to be looking at my audience because I get a pulse.
That's
I get
right.
a pulse of, am I reaching them? Did I touch someone? Because I can see the reaction. But if
Mhm.
I'm not looking, if I'm not engaged, you lose that. And a lot of times our girls, something that our young girls, why don't the teachers care about us? And I don't think the teachers are really engaged with us. And I'm like, are you looking at your teacher when they're
Are you
speaking?
looking at them? Right. Right. And
Because what you give off is how people will interact with you.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Even walking into a room, Asiya,
Hmm.
speaking, addressing people, And I'm
Yes,
not saying that you have to speak to every person in the room. You can just give a general good morning, everyone. Hello,
absolutely.
everyone. And nowadays, people aren't even speaking. And I can't say that this is just young people.
Right.
Unfortunately,
And that's why I was saying being the way shower and
right.
being able to help our girls. So you mentioned some good points. You were saying eye contact is one. We're
Yeah.
seeing a lack of eye contact. We're seeing just common courtesy in greeting people when you walk into a room and
Right.
saying hello or good morning, whatever the appropriate greeting would be. What else are you seeing? Because you're touching on everything that we're working with our girls
How about addressing your elders
on.
in a respectful manner?
Come on, Jennifer, speak on that.
When you are introduced to someone who is your elder, you are supposed to address them by Mr. or Ms. or Mrs. until they give you permission to say, oh, you can call me Jennifer, or you can
Absolutely.
call me Miss Jennifer.
That's right. That's
But
right.
until then, they should address you by your last name.
Do you know that I am? Oh, I'll tell it. I'm not ashamed of my age. I'm 50. I'm 50 years old. And do
You
you
better
know
walk
I still
50.
address, thank you.
That's
Do
right.
you, and I still address those that are older than me as Mr. and Mrs. And they always look at me like, you don't have to call. And I'm like, that's how I was raised. I was
Yeah.
raised that anyone who was my elder, you do not have the authority or the permission to just call someone by their first name because it was a form of disrespect. And so, yes, we've lost that. And we have to remind our young girls that it's just a matter of respect and
Yes.
allowing that person to give you the permission. So, absolutely, I love that you brought that up.
And I believe, Asiya, it's a part of us not being in a tight community like we were before.
Yes,
Because when I was growing up, we grew up in a community where we knew everyone on our block. We knew Mr. and Mrs. Dorch, Miss, hey, Mama Depew and Daddy Depew. Now, you
right.
know, Mr. and Mrs. Archie, we knew the people on our block around the corner and we addressed them
As
appropriately.
such,
That's right.
exactly. I
That's right.
see a comment in here that I definitely want to address because it was something that I hadn't even thought of, and I would love to get your viewpoint on that. Natalie joined us in the chat, and she said, when we were talking about eye contact, she said also Black people centuries ago could not look white people in the face. So as a Black person, I feel it's important to look in the eyes of every human being.
Amen.
Absolutely, absolutely,
I couldn't agree more. We,
absolutely.
we
And
had
that
to walk with our heads down.
right,
So
right.
so now we can walk proudly, you know. And I'm not talking about pride. You know, I'm not
Right.
talking
You talk
about
about confidence, like what you were
pride. I
saying.
am talking about confidence, right? With our heads up, speaking and seeing other people, which is so important nowadays.
It
So important.
absolutely
So
is. It absolutely
I just hope that the young ladies they get it.
is.
I hope that we can continue to feed into them what is important in life because in reality, this is not. This is not. It's a means to an end. You know,
Right.
we communicate over it. It has a lot of benefits, but we need to get back to where we were before, where we're talking to people face to face and having some serious conversations.
Absolutely. And this was something else that I had to, it was a teaching moment for one of my girls. And there's some more comments in the chat that I'm going to be sharing. I had an experience with one of our girls. She's one of the girls in the leadership program. And bless her heart, this was not intentional. But clearly, this was something that hadn't been taught. And as adults, we're working. Whether you're an entrepreneur, even if you pick up your phone, it's still you are working. You're
Right.
throughout your day. So the young lady in my program, I picked up. I said hello. She just started talking about what it was that she was calling me for. So after she finished her sentence, this me being my common courtesy, I let her finish, and then I addressed her and I said, hello, how are you? So, oh, hi, Mrs. Asiya. Hi, Mrs. Asiya. How are you? And I'm like, I'm doing well, thank you. And I said, I would love to speak to you. I said, but right now it's not a good time. And
Right.
so I said, I said, is it okay for us to have a teaching moment? And she was like, oh, what did I do? And I was like, no, it's not that. I said, it's a teaching moment. And I
It's
said,
a
teaching
teaching moment.
moments are positive. So
That's
I
right.
was like, when you call an adult, the first thing you want to do is, as you mentioned, the greeting. Good morning, good afternoon, hello, whatever the greeting is, the appropriate greeting. I said, you introduce yourself. And I said, and then second, you ask, especially when you're calling an adult, before you start talking about what it is that you're going to get into, is this a good time to speak?
Is this a good time to talk?
Is this a
Is
good
this
time
a
to
good time?
speak? Do you
That's it.
have a couple of minutes that you can give me? I need just 5 minutes. Do you have that? It's just that common courtesy, as you mentioned. And if not, then I can tell you, well, right now is not a good time, but call me back or I'll call you back at such and such time. I said, but when you go in, it's almost this, you know, it comes across as arrogant, like you're going to make time for me because
Right.
I'm calling. So I
Right.
was like, it's just etiquette. And I said, and when you take that with you, that common courtesy, I said it's going to go a long way,
That's
Mrs.
right.
Stevens. It's going to
Because
go a long way.
if they start now, as they grow and get into their professional lives, whatever it is, whether
They're going
it
to,
is working at a company or being their own boss,
that's right.
they
That's
will
right.
be able to know how to address people in a way that is respectful and professional. And let me just touch on that. I hear background noise. I'm not sure if you hear it. I hear some static. But
I don't hear it, but I'll,
okay,
I'll, I'll, I'll be more in tune to see if I
okay.
do hear it.
All right. So I just want to address professionalism for a minute. I think people are getting professionalism and code switching confused.
Mm. Oh, elaborate.
There's a way that you conduct yourself in a professional setting. I'm not going to conduct myself in a professional setting the same way I'm going to conduct myself being with my family, my sisters, or my friends.
Right.
That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm code switching. I'm not acting other than who I am.
I love this. Yes. Come on.
And I
Speak
can
on
be
this.
more
Yes.
more than one thing. I can be professional and then I could be silly, you know. I could be serious,
Mhm.
I could be funny. You can be all the things, but you have to be aware of where you are and what
Right.
is going on in that area. And then you adapt to it. That doesn't
Ad-
mean
adapting. That's it. Right.
that's it. You adapt to it. Exactly. Thank you.
I
Exactly.
love it.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you are code switching.
Because you hear a lot of teen girls say that, well, you act this way here and you act a different way. It's and like I love the term that you said. No, it's adapting to my environment.
Right.
There's
Right.
a and it's one of the things that we teach our girls in the vocational training class is that it might be cute what you have on, but it's not appropriate for the
There
workplace.
you go.
So it's adapting to your environment. So I
Your
love
environment.
you hear the background. So Jersey Carol says she hears the background noise too. I'm not sure where that background noise is coming
I don't
from.
hear it right now, but I did hear it earlier. It was just like papers moving or something like that. I see.
Okay.
Yeah, but
All
it's
right.
quiet. I just hear you now, which is wonderful.
Okay, good, good. Because I want to make sure the sound is good. And you
That's
was
right.
bringing up a topic about, adapting in the workplace and how important it is and how it translates into, if we teach our girls now, they will
Mhm.
take that on with them into the workplace. Rosie left a comment, and I thought this was so powerful. She said, this should also be taught in medical schools for them to know how many, she said, for you to know how many physicians walk through a waiting room and do not speak.
Do not speak.
That
And,
bedside
and
manner.
and this is one place where you're most vulnerable. In the emergency room, in the care of a doctor, people you don't even know. And they're
Absolutely.
poking and prodding you, but they don't speak to you. How about,
Exactly.
and even introduce themselves to you.
You know what? It's amazing that you said that because I remember growing up, my mother, she's 83 now. And I remember it didn't matter where we went, Jennifer. If we went into a doctor's office, if we were in an elevator, it didn't matter where she was. She would say, "Good evening, hello, everyone." She would speak. And I remember I used to be like, why does my mother do this all the time? But now I do it. And my kids, they looked at me the same way. But
Right.
it makes a difference because you never know what someone is going through.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know, it makes a difference in how people interact. Like, wow, you're a very friendly person, you're an approachable person.
Right.
So being able to be seen as someone approachable, opportunities lie in those areas where people feel like they can
You
approach and
never
ask
know
a
who you
question you
are.
don't know.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah. My mother would tell us it doesn't hurt to speak.
And it's the truth. And it's
Okay.
the truth.
And how simple is that? It doesn't hurt to
Hmm.
speak. Speak.
Absolutely.
I wish we would come in a room and not address people. Oh my goodness. That was like major in
And
our
that's another thing that I'm seeing. What you're talking about is young kids will come in. We have guests in the home, or a speaker will come into the classroom, and no one greets the speaker until we say hello, or say, or you'll see the speaker say, "Hello, everyone," and I was like, "Hello,"
mm-hmm.
barely
Mm-hmm.
speaking. Some don't say anything at all. So absolutely, being able to address someone and be welcoming, it's very important. So I love all of the things that you're talking about. So why is this such a passion for you? Because you actually have it on your business card that you are an etiquette coach, you're an etiquette mentor, helping, individuals in this area. Why is this such a passion for you?
Asia, I love helping people. I love helping people to see that they can do better for themselves if they want to. And even with etiquette, this is you doing better for yourself. If you don't know how to, act, whether it's in school, at a club, and I'm not talking about dance club, I'm talking about like Toastmasters.
Right, right, exactly.
You rather it's at your workplace,
Hmm.
rather it's
Hmm.
in your place of worship. There's
Yes,
ways to
wow.
show up, and this is about perception. It's about building your brand because you don't
Mm.
know who you are going to meet now and when you're going to meet them later on in life as well.
So I would love for you to connect that to the work that we do in empowering young girls and women. How important is etiquette and the connection that it has to confidence building and empowerment?
When you know, you feel more confident, and then you're more comfortable. You don't have to be nervous about what do I do in this circumstance? How do I show up? When you
Mm.
learn etiquette, you are going to help yourself become a better person overall. And people are going to notice how you interact with other people, even how you interact with them. And that it goes back to the Maya Angelou, is how you make them feel. That's what it is. Etiquette is important in our lives. It's every day we touch people. And when we touch people, rather it's at the grocery store, being considerate of others,
Mm. Yes.
rather it's in school, being considerate of your classmates. When we come together and be more mindful and intentional
Hmm.
and considerate, then that's going to help us overall because we pass it along. My passion is to help as many people as I possibly can to
I am
become
so,
better. That's
absolutely, and I hear it. I hear it in your voice. And the girls that you worked with through our program, they felt it because speaking of what we're going to talk about now is we have our upcoming empowerment retreat, and the theme of our empowerment retreat this year is unleashing radiant resilience.
yes.
And when I told the girls that you were going to be one of the speakers, they got so excited. They was like, "Oh, Miss Jennifer's coming!" And the girl, the one that you was the mentor for, she was like, "That's my mentor." So it's true what you say. It translates, and people remember how you made them feel, and just the thought of them seeing you again, the thought of them interacting with you again, was something that they got excited about. So you're so right when you say that. So speaking of the empowerment retreat that's coming up on September 30th, for those that are watching or on the fence of should I register my daughter to to come to this event. And by the way, for the viewers, if you're a mom, if you're a grandmother, if you're an auntie, if you're a big sister, and you have a special young lady in your life between the ages of 12 and 17, I want you to hear the next piece of why this is so important. That if you're seeing that they're lacking this because of some of the things that Ms. Jennifer mentioned, which is social media and the lack of that face-to-face touch, especially since COVID as well, coupling it with that. What are the three objectives? If you could say, what, this you're going to be speaking, and it's on the topic of etiquette, what we're talking about right now. If there's three takeaways, three objectives that a young lady that would be attending the empowerment retreat, what are some three takeaways that they will walk away with after your interaction and your session with them?
Well, thank you for that question. First and foremost, J.E.S.S.I.C.A Cares is an excellent organization to be involved in.
Oh,
So, for those who do have young ladies in their lives and they are looking for somewhere where they can learn and grow and be empowered, I would definitely recommend and suggest J.E.S.S.I.C.A Cares, because I saw how you interacted with the young ladies and you showed nothing but love, and they love you back. It's- Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. You know that.
right.
You know that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like for them to take away, if they do not know what etiquette is, they will know by the time they leave that
That's right.
retreat.
That's
They
right.
will also know what the importance is of etiquette,
I think
because
that's
we've lost it. A lot of etiquette we've lost, and it's unfortunate because we still need it. And then I also want them to walk away knowing that whatever they set their minds to do, they can do it,
mhm, mhm,
as long as they do it the proper way.
mhm, yeah. And I think etiquette has a lot to do with that. When I think of etiquette, to be, Jennifer, to chime in with what you said earlier, when I think of etiquette, and you were talking about branding, a lot of times when we hear the word brand, we think of business,
Right,
creating our business brand.
right.
However, we also have a personal brand
Yes, we do.
that, each and every day when we walk out of our homes or on the telephone, or whether it be, face to face with anyone that we interact with. To me, it speaks to your integrity as a human being.
Absolutely.
So
Ab-
when I hear etiquette, it is synonymous to me with integrity. What
Well,
does it say about your character?
some people think etiquette is boring
Mm,
because they're not seeing the whole picture of etiquette.
mhm, mhm.
It's actually the proper way of doing things. That's all.
Exactly.
It's the
Exactly.
proper way of doing things, and
Yeah.
that's putting it simply.
Yeah.
I can go with a whole long definition of what etiquette is, but
Mm.
why? Let's
It
keep it simple. It's the proper way
right.
of doing things.
Exactly. And like you said, I love the fact that you're going to help the girls be able to see the importance of it. Because without seeing the importance of it, you lack the urgency of, I need to, that self-reflection of, hey, I need to work on this. This is something
Right.
that I need change and make some adjustments for. So I love the fact that you're going to help them to be able to understand that there is an importance, and what is the, I wouldn't say consequence, but what are some of the things that they could lose along the way in their life's journey by not having, proper etiquette, even on the telephone, things like that. So I just love the fact that you're doing this. And we have someone here, Nicole. She said, I wish there was a place for young girls in Rock Hill, South Carolina. So I wanted to just say, for those that are interested, Jennifer, and you seem like you want to say something, so I'm gonna let you speak.
No, I'm okay. You can go ahead. Go ahead. Continue on.
I was going to say that if they were interested in having something like this, how could someone find you, Jennifer, to be able to book you for something like this? Because someone left a comment earlier, I think it was Natalie. She said we need to have a workshop where we need to retrain some of the parents. We may need to retrain some of the parents. So what if we have, which is why my organization works with young girls and women, because of that same thing. We're finding that some of our adults,
Mhm.
um, are needing to have that. And while they may be adults, they may not have had that training as well growing up. We don't know what their
Right.
particular circumstance was. And so
Absolutely.
you can only give and can only share
Mhm.
what it is that you have inside, right?
Right.
So if someone was
And we meet people where they are.
exactly,
We meet people where they
exactly.
are. It's not us trying to make you feel bad about anything. As long as you're trying to help yourself and to improve yourself, then yes, we're going to meet people where they are.
Exactly.
That's plain and simple. There's no judgment. No,
I
look, we
love
all
that.
had to learn, right?
Right,
So
right.
it's to me, it's each one teach one. And when I learn something, I got to teach somebody else, or else I'm not serving the community as I should.
And to me, that's empowerment.
Right.
Empowerment is you get it, you learn it, you embody it, and you make sure that you pass it on to others. Because hoarding it to yourself, that's not empowering anyone.
No.
That's not
No.
empowering your community. So absolutely sharing it. So talking about sharing and talking about teaching it to someone else. If someone like Nicole, who's in South Carolina, is like, I wish we had something like this here in South Carolina. I mean, we did virtual classes, Nicole. So if someone is interested in having you come to their school or have you come to their nonprofit organization, their place of business, or even as you mentioned, their place of worship, where can they find you to be able to book you and connect with you for you to be able to help them be able to do this as well?
Well, of course, you can go to my website, iampolished.com. You can hit me up on social media at Jennifer Tyler Washington on Instagram as well as LinkedIn. And you can email me,
Okay.
Jennifer at iampolished.com.
Wow, I love it. So y'all heard it right here. She was like, contact her, whether it be on her website, her email address. She gave you her social media handles. You have no excuse. So if you got girls in your community right now that are struggling in that area, or if you have adults
That's
in
right.
your, that we need a refresher course, right? We all need that sometimes. That refresher course, this is the go-to right here. And I mean, you see her, she's so polished in the way she speaks. And when I tell you how she interacts with our young girls, that's why they love her. They can't wait to see you on September 30th. They're just like so excited that you're going to be coming back and speaking with them. And Rosie wrote, so true. Parents and even grandparents could benefit. The children are watching them, doing what they do, seeing what they say. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
It's not that saying do as I say and not as I
Right.
do. If
That's
that's
right.
not the case.
That's
We,
right.
youth, they follow what they see,
Yes.
good or bad. Right.
Right. Absolutely, Asiya. Good or
Good
bad.
or bad.
So we got to make sure that we are mindful of how we're interacting with them and other people because
Absolutely.
they are watching us.
Hmm. And
We have to,
we need to give them something good to watch.
that's right.
We need
Absolutely.
to give them something good to
You
watch.
got
Oh,
that.
I'm loving this. We could talk all morning about this. So as we close, I always love to, let our guest speaker be the one. Oh, there's a question. Says, ladies, how can we support both of your work and efforts going forward? Great question, Yvonne. So, Yvonne, before we close out, you can reach out to me as well on my website, jessicacares.org. Reach out and click the contact us, and you can reach out to me, and we can have a discussion, off here, and we can discuss how you can volunteer, become a volunteer of Jessica Cares. We can get to learn what your strengths and your talents, so that way we can maximize it for our girls. You can also follow my Instagram page as well. On Instagram, it's Jessica Cares One. You will find us, as well as our Facebook page under Jessica Cares. And you can see all of the different things that we're doing, and you can get in where you fit in. And you're like, I want to work with the girls on this, or I want to bring this to the table. We have some opportunities right now. We just got a new home. We just
Yes.
got a new home. We're so
Congratulations.
excited. Our meet and greet is coming up on September 16th. So we're looking for speakers, whether it be virtual or face to face, or if you're in the New Jersey area, for you to be able to come out and work with us, come out on Saturdays to be with us and, share your talents, and each one teach one, as they say. So,
That's
Yvonne, I look forward to hearing from you. Again, it's jessicacares.org. And what was your website again, Jennifer, if she wants to help support what you're doing?
Yes, iampolished.com. Iampolished.com. And if you know of anyone who is in need of social or business or professional development training, those are the areas that I touch upon. Please contact me and I will be more than happy to work with you. Whether it's a private family, because I'll come into your home and we can have etiquette classes in the home. I work with schools, corporations, churches, athletes, you name it, I will teach
Wow.
you. I will help you. Absolutely.
I know
Yes.
that's right. I know that. And Avril said she would love to hear a Toastmaster speech on etiquette. So, all right,
Maybe that'll be my
she put her request.
Arrow. I hear you, Arrow. You want me to do another speech? Okay, I got you.
Hi, Avril. I remember you, Avril. So good to see you here on this topic.
Thank you, Toastmasters and family and friends, for showing up. Everyone who tuned in. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for the beautiful comments and the questions that were asked. It really kept this
Thank
conversation
you.
engaged. So as we close out on our show today, I love to leave, our guest speaker with the final thought, just something that you want them to walk away with, as it relates to the topic that we had today.
My final thoughts are, don't be afraid of etiquette. Embrace etiquette because it's going to help empower you along the way. And whatever your dreams and goals are, pursue them. Don't let anything or anyone deter you from what you are moving forward to doing,
Mhm.
because life is short. And another thing, we need each other.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength, knowing that you know where you need
Mhm.
assistance. And that is not a problem to know that. It's a good thing. So I
Absolutely.
look forward to speaking with the girls on the 30th. I'm going to come to the meet and greet on the 16th. I believe in what you're doing and I want to support you as much as I possibly can. Thank you, Asiya, for all the works that you are doing. I
Thank you.
appreciate you. I
Thank you
truly.
so much. I love that final thought. I do not want to take away from it. I just want to soak in it and embrace it and just kind of marinate in that, because it was just a beautiful final thought. So, for those of you who are watching, the viewers, thank you so much for tuning in on your busy schedule to come in and listen to us in this conversation. If you know someone who could benefit from this, please share. Sharing is caring. So,
That's
make sure that you share this video. If this is the first time that you're on our YouTube channel or on our Facebook page, please make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell, because we got more conversations like this coming up for you in 2023 and 2024. Subscribe, share this video with as many people as you can that you feel could benefit from you. That's your contribution in helping, making sure that you're taking care of your community and those that you love as well. And it'll be helping us. You ask how you can help us. Our mission here is to empower the women of our communities and the girls that they are raising. That's how you can do that. So thank you again for tuning in this morning. Our next episode, stay tuned, is on body positivity on September 8th. It's not going to be at 10:30. It's going to be at 12:30. So it's that lunchtime hour. Get that little power. Not only nourishing you physically but mentally and emotionally. We're going to be talking about body positivity with another phenomenal, guest speaker. And again, thank you so much, Jennifer, for joining us. I cannot wait to see you and what you're going to pour into our girls on September 30th at our annual retreat for girls, Unleashing Radiant Resilience. Everyone, make sure that you're intentional today about being impactful and leaving a positive impact, even with someone you don't know.